Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. The election concerns of the territory continue. Late last year, the Elections Assistance Commission conducted an audit of the VI's use of election funds, but some residents are concerned that the results may be available but hidden from public view. News2's April Knight has more.
Sometime after the controversial 2012 general elections, an election-related audit was conducted by the Election Assistance Commission, a federal agency tasked with collecting and sharing data on how elections are done. Earlier this week, some Virgin Islanders raised concerns that the audit report has been made available for some time to some individuals who may have chosen to conceal the information.
I learned just a couple of days ago that indeed the audit had been completed approximately 2 weeks ago, and there had to be some sort of concealment.
But the Office of the Inspector General at EAC stated that a draft, not the final report, was released.
It's a draft report. It won't be finalized until we get the agency's comments and incorporate them.
Even so, Monsanto questions why the information was made available to some members of the Board of Elections, but not to others.
Why is it that the St. Thomas St. John District did not share that audit with the members of the board? I haven't seen a copy, and I checked with other members. They have not gotten a copy. They have not received the call.
The report is restricted in terms of dissemination.
EAC also made clear that the audit is routine procedure and was not conducted because of reports of anomalies in the 2012 elections.
We did not audit the election, and we want to be very clear about that. The U.S. Election Assistance Commission provided the Virgin Islands money to improve the election process, and what we're auditing is the use of those funds.
But this explanation is not good enough for some who feel that there is a serious lack of transparency surrounding the elections.
We cannot cover a multitude of sins any longer.
In spite of public calls for the audit report, the Election Assistance Commission still insists that it has not been finalized and therefore can't be released at this time. But as to when it will be released, the answer remains unclear. April Knight, News 2.
According to the Elections Assistance Commission's Office of Inspector General, the report will be made available on their website at www.eac.gov when it is completed and approved by the agency. On Tuesday, Senator Hansen was asking the governor to help amend a consent decree to give the VI government access to Hovensa settlement money. Today, after a long meeting with the Attorney General and the Commissioner of Planning and Natural Resources, she accomplished her mission to do just that. News2's Erica Parsons has more.
Senator Hansen met with VI Attorney General and Department of Planning and Natural Resources Commissioner Alicia Barnes Thursday. Their nearly 3-hour-long meeting was for one reason: to rescind the arrangement made regarding a $10 million penalty Hovensa paid to the VI government and the EPA for violations. The VI government's portion was expected to be spent towards environmental projects with Hovensa's input.
I discovered, I believe since January 2011, that the other half belonging to the people of the Virgin Islands was opted to go in an escrow account under the authority of Hovensa, inclusive of Hovensa's approval.
This week, the senator lobbied the governor to amend the consent decree so there would be no stipulations on how the money should be spent and to take away Hovensa's involvement.
The federal government took its half without restrictions and placed it in the Treasury of the United States for their Congress and their Senate to decide how that money is to be spent. I never understood and refuse to understand how a company you apply the penalty to can be in control of the same monies they are demanded to pay to the government of the Virgin Islands.
Senator Hansen won her battle.
We reviewed together the consent agreement, and ultimately a decision was made to remove Hovensa's authority off of our people's money and give the sole authority where it belongs, to the people of the Virgin Islands.
She said the money is back in the people's hands to spend where it's most needed, whether Juan Luis Hospital, legal costs to fight Hovensa, or whatever.
Today I want to say to the people of the Virgin Islands, you have to be proud. We are going to go in a united front. Attorney General Fraser, Commissioner Barnes, and myself, to get those money back to the people under the sole authority so that their legislature can be the one to decide how the monies are to be spent. And of course, any recommendation that comes from the executive branch is welcome.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Senator Hansen said the parties at Thursday's meeting also agreed to file a motion to remove any authority Hovensa has over the people's money. Governor John DeYoung disagrees with characterized statements made by St. Thomas Senator Myron Jackson during the committee finance meeting. The governor said that it was in poor taste for Senator Jackson to falsely accuse the administration of contributing to the dysfunction of government by failing to nominate persons to serve on boards and commissions. Governor DeYoung admitted that there are vacancies on several boards and commissions at this time, but it is not a result of the administration not attempting to fill the slots. St. Croix Chief of Police James Parris said pressure from the community was responsible for wanted suspect Martin ISIDORE surrendering to police on Thursday. Police issued a wanted poster for ISIDORE on Tuesday. Police said on August 13th, ISIDORE robbed 2 females at gunpoint at the Hidden Island Bar and Restaurant.
On August 22nd, Martin called police and told them that he would surrender himself. He came to B Command in Frederiksted and was arrested just before 11 a.m. that same day. Martin was charged with 2 counts of first-degree robbery, 4 counts of third-degree assault, unauthorized possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime of violence, carrying or using a dangerous weapon during the commission of a crime of violence, 2 counts of grand larceny, 2 counts of possession of stolen property, possession of ammunition, failure to report firearms obtained outside or brought into the Virgin Islands, first-degree reckless endangerment, and discharging or aiming a firearm. Martin's bail was set at $125,000, and he was remanded to the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility pending further court action.
And police remind you to call Crime Stoppers hotline to help solve this or some of the other cases you're about to hear about. Remember, the smallest bit of information may be just what law enforcement officers need to close these cases. Here's this week's Crime Stoppers report. Police on St. Croix say on Sunday, August 11th at approximately 9 p.m. in Estate Williams Delight, a 20-year-old male was robbed at gunpoint as he parked his vehicle in his carport. The 3 armed black males were between 5'7" and 5'9" in height, dressed in dark clothing and wearing various colored masks on their faces, according to police. The suspects fled in the victim's vehicle, a beige Suzuki Vitara, which was later found burned in the area of Estate Hovensa. Help police find these criminals. Over on St. Thomas on Saturday, April 6th at 7:50 p.m., a woman was walking in the area of Dronigan's Gata on her way home when a man ran up to her, snatched her gold chain from her neck, and fled the area on foot. Help police identify this thief. Now over on St. John on Thursday, August 8th, at around 3:20 p.m., a man reported that he placed his white iPhone 4 that was in a purple case on the ferry ticket counter in Cruz Bay and accidentally walked off without it. When he realized he left his phone, he went back to get it, but somebody had stolen it. Help police solve this theft. Tell police what you know about these or any other crimes at www.crimestoppersusvi.org or by calling 1-800-222-TIPS. You can also text USVI plus your message to crimes at 274637. All 3 of these methods will keep you anonymous. If your tip leads to an arrest or the recovery of stolen property, illegal drugs, or weapons, you will receive a cash reward to be paid according to your instructions. The minimum cash reward for the arrest of a robber is $900 plus 10% of the retail value of property recovered. The maximum reward is $2,500. The VI Port Authority's governing board met yesterday and discussed important agenda left over from its last board meeting, including a new request by Tabar Energy for lease of 400 acres of land west of the Randall Doc James racetrack. Tabar says this is for the purpose of growing giant king grass. Tibar's main fuel for its biomass generators. Port Authority also discussed finances as well as challenges with overdue tenant accounts and strategies on how to better collect dues from its tenants. President Obama is using a two-state bus tour to get his educational reform message out to the American people. He's telling students tuition is too high and out of reach for many middle-class families, but he has a plan to fix it. Tara Margina reports from the White House.
President Obama told students at the University of Buffalo a higher education is the single best investment they can make in their future.
There are many things that are more important to that idea of economic mobility, the idea that you can make it if you try, than a good education.
The president is rolling out a new rating system to help parents and students get more bang for their education buck. It will factor in criteria like tuition costs, graduation rates, and graduate earnings. Then the president wants to tie school performance to federal financial aid.
Colleges that keep their tuition down and are providing high-quality education are the ones that are going to see their taxpayer funding go up.
It's all part of a larger proposal to make college more affordable. The average tuition at a four-year school has tripled in the past 30 years, and Americans now owe more than $1 trillion in student loan debt.
To help manage future student debt, the White House wants all graduates to be able to cap loan payments at 10% of their monthly income.
You do what it takes to go to college, but then you run the risk that you won't be able to pay it off because you got so much debt.
The president wants the rating system ready for the 2015 school year, but he'll need Congress to pass some of his other proposals. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
And keeping our eye on the economy, for the first time since 2008, it surpassed Google as the most visited website in July. Yahoo received over 196 million unique visitors last month compared to Google's 192 million. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose last week after reaching the lowest level in more than 5 years. But analysts say the broader trend suggests companies are laying off fewer workers and could step up hiring in the months ahead. A big milestone. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. Everything up: the Dow 66, NASDAQ 38, S&P 14. Well, coming up on News 2, in a few weeks, the morning traffic will be a little different as we prepare for our students to get back to school. Some safety tips in store for parents, students, and motorists to keep in mind. We'll be right back. The cleanup operation following last Thursday's oil spill in Roadtown, Tortola is now complete. The spill was contained without any contamination reaching the ocean. That's according to Philomena Robertson, the Information and Education Manager at the British Virgin Islands Disaster Management Department. Robertson said that the spill appears to have happened when a truck was disposing of waste oil near the sewage pump station. The cleanup operation focused on the area of the drain extending from the sewage pump station near the Roadtown roundabout to the intersection near Tortola Department Store. Workers could be seen power washing the drain after removal of contaminated matter. On Tuesday, September 3rd, students will be heading back to school. And as students and parents get back into the swing of things, it is important to keep traffic and school bus safety in mind. News2's Shaniqua Robinson has some back-to-school safety tips to offer.
In preparation for back to school, drivers should remember that as the new school year begins, students will be walking, crossing streets, and at times even playing on their way to school.
For this up-and-coming school year, it is important for drivers to be mindful, don't text while you're driving, and expect the unexpected at all times.
School bus safety is also very important, and motorists are urged to pay close attention while driving in front or behind the school bus.
It is the law to stop for all school buses while the flashing red lights are on and the stop arm is out. It is the law is VI Code Title 20, Section 495. It states you should stop at least 10 feet in front of the bus or 10 feet behind.
Students are also urged to follow the rules of the bus in order to ensure their safety.
One of the most important rules for students to follow is once they get on the bus, sit down immediately and remain seated. This is because if the driver stops suddenly and they're standing up, they would be thrown towards the front of the bus. They can get injured. So if they remain seated, they would be safe. They shouldn't have their hands out the window. They shouldn't be throwing objects out the window. Littering is against the law.
Students should also keep in mind that riding the school bus is a privilege and there are consequences if the rules are broken.
Riding the school bus is a privilege, which means if the child or student do not follow the rules, the privilege will be taken away and the bus ridership will be suspended.
Other safety tips for students include exercising crosswalk safety, use the buddy system, avoid danger zones, and exercise caution, good manners, and consideration for other people. Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
Both students and drivers are asked to keep these safety tips in mind as we enter the new school year. Well, 8 Virgin Islands students recently completed an intensive 4-week training program at Alcorn University in Lauren, Mississippi. At the request of the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, the faculty of the Department of Agriculture at Alcorn University developed and implemented a program to expose Virgin Islands students to career and professional opportunities in the wide-ranging field of agricultural science. The program was conducted from June 30th to July 27th and consisted of in-depth classroom, field, and laboratory activities. Congratulations to the students. The snorkel clinics offered by the St. Croix Environmental Association could be for you if you want something fun yet educational for the entire family. Last weekend, SEA held one of their free monthly clinics. They are offered for school-age children to adults, and all the equipment is provided. The clinics are paid for by grants provided by Reef Jam. You can call St. Croix Environmental for the schedule or visit them on Facebook so you can learn what's healthy for the beach.
We try to play different games at every clinic, and these games are designed to either inform kids and have a good time, but inform kids about sea turtles or the reef or beach safety or reef safety or snorkeling or snorkel safety, something that it's relevant to the snorkel clinic, but it's also a lot of fun.
Caribbean Cultural Festival 2013, presented by Virgin Islanders United Inc., is ready to deliver some love and attention to fans at the free outdoor Caribbean music concert, featuring music from Pressure Busspipe, the Image Band from Washington, D.C., Rudy, and much more. That's this Sunday, September 1st, 2013, from 2 p.m. to 7 in the Jackie Robinson Park in Harlem, New York City. This event celebrates the music and culture of the U.S. Virgin Islands and other islands in the Caribbean. Virgin Islanders United Inc. is a New York-based nonprofit civic organization dedicated to promoting the culture of the U.S. Virgin Islands. This event attracts an ethnically diverse mix of over 6,000 people annually. You can log on for more information at www.virginislandersunited.org. And we will have more on that on Friday's newscast, so be sure to tune in. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.